goodness, you guys, one of the most wonderful things that's ever happened to me happened today. I'm traveling with my husband in Indonesia for his job for the last couple of days. He's been working and I've been able to go out and do some of my own thing. And today I got to see so many monkeys. I love monkeys. They are present like in Malaysia and in Kuala Lumpur and definitely around Indonesia, but this was the first time ever that I've been around young, like baby monkeys who are very friendly, and one of them took my fingers and he was just holding my hand so gently. Aww. I didn't have any food or anything. He was kind of looking at my nails, which I guess intrigued him. Yes, probably maybe he thought they were food, but I don't care. I believe deep down that he's like my little spirit monkey, and he came to see me and tell me like everything's gonna be okay, girl, you got this. The monkeys were just like so adorable. Then also there are the older monkeys, which are obese now. This one is like a little bit obese because people feed them so much, so you're not supposed to feed them anymore. But then I also got to go out on a boat with a friend of ours and even do some snorkeling. I love snorkeling. And I just had a great time and I thought I would share it with you guys. You guys, I swear, when the baby monkey, like he touched my fingers, in my heart, I turned into like Whitney Houston and I was just like singing to myself, the greatest love of all is happening to me. I found the greatest love of all in Bali. Like, I was so into that monkey. I kept looking for him everywhere. And I really believe, like, he probably followed me home and is gonna, like, pop out of my luggage when I get home and he'll live with me forever and I can be his mom. I just like to think about that, you know? So, anyway, it was a good day. And I was thinking when I get home, I'm gonna add this to my video as a palate cleanser about the Duggars. Anyway, here we go, friends, down another rabbit hole. Welcome, friends. I'm so glad to see all of you. I'm actually traveling in Indonesia right now. I'm in Bali, traveling for my husband's job. I'm sure it sounds amazing, but it's been an awful lot of work. And as always, whenever we've gone to Indonesia, my stomach is not doing the best. But I'm so glad to see all of you here tonight because I've been wanting to share some interesting information that's being passed around on the back streets of Reddit about how Josh Duggar was really exposed. And people are saying it didn't have anything to do with the Halts or Alice or Oprah. It actually had to do with a lesbian couple who came to visit the Duggars in Springdale, Arkansas. Let's talk about it. Okay, so this is allegedly what happened, and I had no idea about this, so I guess I'm the dummy. Okay, so it's the end of the summer of 2014, and supposedly everything is going great for the Duggars. They still have their show, 19 Kids and Counting, and their oldest son, Josh Duggar, is living and working in DC in like a pretty, I guess, somewhat prestigious political job. Everything seems hunky-dory to the outer world, right? Most of us knew very little about the Duggars' background, the IBLP, and what was going on with them in general. We just took the show at face value. Okay, but then seemingly out of nowhere, residents of Fayetteville, Arkansas were shocked to pick up the phone and hear a robocall narrated by Michelle Duggar, the matriarch of 19 Kids and Counting, and it was urging them to vote no on a proposed anti-discrimination ordinance that she said would affect the safety of women and children using public restrooms in the area. Okay, so the ordinance called to protect the civil rights of citizens and to prohibit Fayetteville businesses from discriminating against people based on real or perceived race, ethnicity, gender identity, gender expression, sexual orientation. So it was basically like she was very opposed to the fact that this ordinance would essentially guarantee that anyone who was like transgender, gay, or lesbian should be afforded like the same rights as everyone else. And she linked it to the possibility that someone within the community who had a background of pedophilia could use the public restroom that your children may be using. And this is what she talks about in her robocall. The robocall is a separate issue within itself, but the robocall is allegedly what led to many residents of the town of Fayetteville showing up near the Duggars' property and taking like social media photos of themselves with their partner who was same-sex or transgender or any kind of offensive identification to the Duggar family. Okay, so the couple featured here protested Michelle Duggar's robocalls by kissing in front of the big house with their marriage certificate in hand. And what's shocking is that this is the situation that led to In Touch magazine going ahead and calling for an interview of one of the women in the photo. So In Touch assumed that they were just going to do a piece in their magazine about the Duggars' conservative values, but it turned into so much more because the woman that they contacted was a long resident of Springdale, and she had a lot to say because it turned out that it was common knowledge that Josh Duggar had done some very inappropriate things with his sisters back in the day. It was common knowledge in Springdale, but not to the rest of us, and certainly not on a national basis. The In Touch reporter was shocked. It wasn't even on anyone's radar that the Duggar family had so much to hide, and In Touch had stumbled upon a gossip tabloid gold mine. Allegedly, one of the women pictured gave the reporter like some basis of information and then was like, you should talk to so-and-so and so-and-so, and you should go to the county records and check it out. And it set the reporter off on a journey of researching what happened with the Duggars years before and how they got their show. They talked to many people in the community that were close with the Duggars, and like we know, they looked up city records to confirm what they were hearing that sounded just like some kind of crazy rumor. And they also found out what happened with the Oprah show. Although we still don't have any confirmation on who wrote to Oprah, it was an important part of the story early on. So In Touch went on to become the magazine that broke the entire scandal about what happened with Josh Duggar and his sisters wide open. They plastered it all over their magazine, and then other sources started picking it up and running it as well. Even though it's alleged that there are other people from the past, like the Holt family or a woman named Alice, or other people who are close to the Duggars who tried to speak out about what had happened, it seems like really this couple who stood in front of the Duggars' house to take a picture and posted it on social media, really to fight back against what Michelle Duggar was putting out into the political world. They are the ones who helped bust this story wide open and expose what happened with Josh. Michelle's attempt to go political, or maybe it was Jim Bob's push to make her political, who knows, it really backfired on the family in the most extreme kind of way. I, of course, I feel grateful that all of this information came out, even though I know it was hurtful towards the Duggar sisters to have their privacy invaded. However, it's clear that Josh was still participating in very inappropriate behavior. It needed to be exposed. And although it took a lot of time, 7 more years until he was found guilty of heinous behavior and finally put into prison, if it didn't happen like it happened back then, we would not be in the place we are right now, waiting for a documentary to come out that's really going to expose a lot of what the IBLP has been up to and what happened within the Duggar family. I'm grateful that In Touch was able to break this story. I just find it very interesting that it happened in a pretty ironic kind of way. I cannot wait to see what is going to happen with this documentary. is saying that there is so much information, not just about the Duggar family, but about many other families who participated in ATI and IBLP and everything that they've been through as people who are not as famous as the Duggars. I mean, let's be honest, the Duggar family was like IBLP royalty. And we all know that royalty, people who have money and power, get treated differently in organizations than people who are lower down, who don't have as much money, who aren't as public, who don't have power. And I think it's great that the documentary is going to look at these like typical normal people too and talk to them about what was happening in their lives and their families and their homes when they were living under the doctrine of Bill Gothard. This is it for me tonight, guys. I'm heading off to bed. But in the next couple of days, I'll be putting out a few more videos that I think are important to look at before I go forward with watching the documentary. And I hope to put out my own commentary on each of the episodes as the documentary is released. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I'll see you again soon when I'm back home in Kuala Lumpur. I've only got another week or two before I fly home to the US. Thank you guys for all your kind words and all of your support. I appreciate you more than you will ever know. Thanks for hanging in there with me while I'm going through all this crazy moving. And I hope that you'll join me again soon so that we can head down another rabbit hole.